it's Sandra. I'm back. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Welcome to tonight's episode. I am back. I've been off for nearly 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago today, actually, that I was off sick with a respiratory infection. My throat still doesn't feel 100%. So obviously I've got to be mindful of that. I still feel it sounds a bit nasally. But I am up to doing live streams at the moment. Hello, Handy. Woo! Hello, Sandra. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I've been offline pretty much all day. Thank you. Welcome back. A triumphant return. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, I really appreciate that. It's a lovely welcome. I actually met Andy yesterday. We went to the aquarium in Plymouth for International Celebrate Being Single Day. I did take some footage, so there will be a video coming up about that. But I was working on the Asexual Meetup Mastery course again today, which I still need to finish, which keeps expanding, shall we say. So I have got footage from that, so that'll be a special video coming out in the future. Back again. Like I said, my throat doesn't feel 100%. I still sound nasally to me, so I'm hoping my health will hold out, but you know, I'm not sure how it's going to be. I've got the window open. It's really stormy in the UK here, but I've got the window open slightly to have oxygen because it's better for my throat. Oh, yes, a lovely day. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, me and Andy had a fantastic day. It was International Celebrate Being Single Day yesterday, February the 14th. And we had an absolutely awesome time. Hey, you got fishes! How did you get those fishes? The emojis. I know YouTube have got new emojis lately. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If we're going along enjoying the content. Yeah. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Those fishies are amazing. Yeah, we had a really amazing time. Thank you for the thumbs up. And absolutely amazing time. It was really good fun. Yeah. We were so busy nattering, we forgot that the last bit of the aquarium, which was our favorite bit, we kind of like had 10 minutes before the whole aquarium shut. So that was quite funny, really. Luckily we've got years past, so we can go back again. It's like the really awesome, very exquisitely pretty fish at the end, but I still got video footage of that, so don't worry. It's the Nemo section. I love Nemo fishes. They're so cool. Flame angel fish, that type of thing. Clownfish. I think Nemo's a clownfish, but flame angel fish, clownfish, they're very similar. Absolutely beautiful. So so I'm back. This video is all about I went on a relationship and dating detox. I admit I was an addict, and this is how to detoxify yourself from dating and relationships. So first of all, I need to kind of explain to you what I mean by that. So basically, as you know, on this channel, I talk a lot about dating relationships. I'm still going to be answering dating relationship questions. And no doubt there's going to be lots of things that crop up still in my life to do with dating relationships. But when I say relationships, I'm happy to still continue my friendships. I've got best asexual friends. So really, I'm talking about dating and relationships as in the sense of, for me personally, getting into a relationship, right? As in a romantic relationship. Obviously, some people may be looking to get into a platonic relationship. So getting into a relationship which is more than a friendship. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. So basically, yeah, I went on a relationships and dating relationships detox. So dating and getting into relationship detox. So what does this actually mean? So basically, I find that as I went on with dating and relationships, when I was going on dating sites, asexual dating sites, Mingle, which I spoke to you before about, mingle2.com, which is not an asexual dating site. I'm in sexual dating groups. I was trying different things, and I always do believe you should try different things, but that also includes other things. So now I've decided to go on this dating and relationships detox. So what does that exactly mean? So for me, like, I was going on Mingle2 and it was becoming very, very, very addictive, right? You know, you would go on there and then you would kind of like hope, because it's a sexual dating site. There's no two ways about it. You know, you would hope to find the rare gem. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you get a load of rubbish come through. There's a lot of people that have gone off there after a month. It says last seen a month ago. So they obviously must have found the same, right? But it's not just true of sexual dating sites. It's true, like, even for me personally, when I'm going on, like, I'm searching ASAP, like several times a day, right? And I'm being really proactive, which I do encourage people who are into dating relationships to go ahead and be proactive. I think it's a very, very good thing, but it can get to the stage where it's toxic because you become like an addict to it, and you become like really need, you know, makes you more needing a relationship. It makes you more wanting and craving it. Now, if you study law of attraction, which some people probably may do on this channel, other people don't, law of attraction states that when you're in need of something, it doesn't usually come your way, because basically being in need is like a lack of, it's like a gap in your life, and when you need something, it usually doesn't get filled, right? So I don't actually need a relationship, but by being in this kind of state of mind that leads to an addictive actions, which is constantly checking Mingle, constantly checking ASAP, going on asexual dating sites, constantly checking them, and it's like I'm pursuing a relationship all the time. By being in that mindset all the time, it can be very, very toxic for one's self-esteem, for one's self-love, for self-compassion, and to actually being at one with yourself. That's why I worked out for me personally, right? And I watched this law of attraction video, which was actually talking to Andy about yesterday. I watched this law of attraction video, and this woman who specializes in law of attraction and manifesting your special person in your life, she was saying, which is very interesting and good advice I hadn't really thought about, that when you are manifesting something, when you're trying to manifest in terms of law of attraction the person you want, so you should be thinking with the end in mind, like what that relationship would be like, you know, how you would feel, and it's all about how you would feel with that person, right? Which is very, very important. Law of attraction is to do with feeling, and you've got to really feel it in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, and believe it, right? You've got to believe it's going to happen, right? So although I believe, as you know, that I've got an Indian soulmate somewhere, although I've always believed that, you know, she was saying that basically you have to think as in the end, like you're in the end result, like you have already manifested the person, like what would your lifestyle look like? What would your life look like? And I do think it's good. All this is really good advice, by the way. It's not bad advice. It's good advice, right? It's good to put yourself in the position of what would your actual dream life with this person, or what would look like, and also what would your life look like, you know, how would things work out, like geographically, would you live together or not? You know, all these things are very important things to consider in a relationship. And living with the end in mind is all about, I didn't understand it at first, but I got it in the end. It's living with the end result, and you live now as though you're in the end result in your mind, but you're supposed to like let it go and kind of set it and forget it, and not procrastinate or not think about it consistently. Like, think about it maybe throughout the day, but not think about it with a need or an urgency or a want, right? And I was getting to the stage where I really wanted to meet my asexual, you know, Indian soulmate. It's really critical. Like, really meeting him, I was making me upset all the time. And for me, living in the end is a very painful thing to think about, because it's like, well, I've been on asexual dating sites now for 6 years. I've not met the right Indian asexual guy. I haven't met a guy even in the UK suitable for me who's asexual. You know, I haven't met this person yet. So there's a lot of pain, and I have a lot of past pain, honestly, from past relationships, because I've never actually been in a good relationship. I've got good friendships now with asexuals, including asexual guys. Hi, Heather. Lovely to see you, which obviously Andy's one of them. And so I know more what a good guy looks like now. I know the qualities I would look for in a guy, the qualities I would look for in a deep deep relationship, because I've got some of those qualities I would look for in a relationship in a friendship, in best friendship, right? And now I've got these best friends in my life. Thank you for the thumbs up. Now I've got these best friends in my life. I actually can see the qualities and things I would like in them, in a special person. I know these people, I know this person exists, the type of person I want to get, because I've got role models and examples of the qualities that I want in a person in my two best friends. One who's my bestest friend, Sam, is non-binary, and one is Andy, who's male, right? So Andy said before he's a cross-dresser as well, so it doesn't matter if I tell you that, because he's already said it. So, you know, they both got male and female qualities, I guess, and I'm a female, but I got some male traits, so, you know, it's all good. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, is that I've got these people now in my life of quality people, of qualities that I would like in a guy in a relationship. So I know this type of person does exist. It's not like in my imagination, right? So that's really healthy to know that, right? But what's not healthy for me, and what I needed to detoxify in terms of dating relationships, was the pain, right? And this woman who's a law of attraction kind of expert, she does it for a living and coaching and manifestation. She says you have to live with the end in mind, but it's not just about how you feel about the person, like you loving them, you feeling great about them. You've also got to feel the feeling of what it's like for them to love you. So you've got to do both. In her specific life, she brought up the problem that she found, which was the guys were loving her, but she wasn't loving them back in her manifestation in the end result. Therefore, she attracted the wrong people in her life, people that were attracted to her that she wasn't attracted to back in a relationship sense. But I realised through watching that video that whenever I look at my manifestation, looking with the end in mind, that I never actually feel, it's more about me feeling loving them, me feeling in the end result, the relationship with them. It's not me actually feeling what it would feel like for them to love me back. I know that sounds really weird and kind of crazy, but I realised that I in my manifestation, in my living in the end result, I never actually think about how they're feeling about me in terms of loving me. Maybe I take it for granted that they love me, I don't know, but I don't actually feel and think. And when I think about that, it makes me have some pain. And you cannot manifest a special person to life if you associate them with pain already. Do you see what I mean? Because you're not going to want pain to come into your life. Do you see what I'm saying? So in order, I think, to get the relationship I want years later, I've decided to detoxify myself from dating relationships. So this means I haven't been on mingle2.com. I've just stopped going on there. I haven't deregistered. I haven't closed my account. You have to go on there to delete your account. I've kept it open. I've kept my profile on there. The reason for that is, one, is because I didn't want to actually go back on there again, because like I said, you have to cut addiction bang like that. So you just have to stop yourself. And two is I might want to go back on there and later on for research, for, you know, if I do decide I want to do sexual books for sexuals and products for sexuals, because although I'm asexual, I love being asexual. Unfortunately, the majority of the world is sexual, so I'm going to have to do some products in the future for sexuals, but it's going to be beneficial to asexuals, because I will be spreading awareness of asexuality through to sexuals at the same time. And this is very, very important for changing worldviews about sexuality in general. If I don't get through to sexuals how important it is they understand that asexuality is a sexual orientation in its own right, a valid one, then there's going to be quite a lot of problems more going forward for asexuals, fearing of being judged and of coming out, but they can't, you know. So it's very, very important that I do get into the world of sexuals from an asexual standpoint of view, and the only way I'm going to do that is kind of by helping them to help us. If you know, helping them will help us. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I didn't go back on mingle2.com, so I have not been back on there. Last time I was on there was the day I was taken poorly, or the 24 hours, the first 24 hours was poorly. I said to the person on there, I messaged someone back who talks to me as a friend on there, even though he fancies me. I said, no, I'm actually sick. He's like, oh, how are you, Sandra? I'm like, I'm sick at the moment, actually. And that's the last time I spoke to him. But he's always messaging me actually on there. He's, he obviously fancies me, but it's actually a normal conversation I have with him usually. Well, sometimes it talks about sex, but in general, it's because I told him about my asexual guide to sex book. But he sometimes says weird stuff, but he's more normal than some of them, put it that way. Anyway, I've not gone back on that, and what I've done, instead of like going on my phone, like checking ASAP all the time, I'm not doing that. I have been on there because there's been some people messaging me. Occasionally I do check it. And asexuality and ace book is very difficult for me because I do a lot of stuff to do helping asexuals on there. So a lot of asexuals will message me on there because they've seen my videos on here, they've got my book, so I kind of have to still look at them, not just for relationships and dating type of thing, but because of the work I do for asexuals. And I also organise asexual meetups, which I use those sites for, so I still have to have a hand in them. But what I'm trying to do is literally now is focus on myself, no more pursuing actively pursuing dating relationships. For me at the moment, for this year, I'm trying not to pursue dating relationships. I'm trying to put myself first. So one of the ways that you can reprogram your mind to be happy being single, which is what I used to do years ago when I first was single from my 8.5-year relationship in 2011 that ended, I had to force myself to be happy being single, because back then I didn't used to be, right? Back then was very difficult for me. I've been in relationships since a teenager pretty much all my life, apart from a 6-month gap. And I used to be having boyfriends all the time, right? And it wasn't healthy because these relationships were usually bad for me, right? And so I don't want to be in that position. I didn't want to be in that position again. And obviously I went on a life coaching course. So I've done a life coaching course, so I can coach people a lot with their life, basically dating relationships, for example. And that was really revealing. I met this guy who's really good called Andrew Jenkins, actually. I'm connected to him on LinkedIn. He's really, really good. Neuro-linguistic programming coach, NLP. And that is the best weekend I've had of how to reprogram my mind. Like, one of the most best life skills ever. And it's all about using positive affirmations to rewire your brain for success. And so what I did after that event, from that event, I learned that you have to say positive affirmations, write them down, put them in the mirror. Positive affirmations are sentences you say to yourself in the present tense as if they already exist. And some people are like, oh, I can't do that, I don't believe it's conning my mind. But you have to reprogram your mind. You're conditioned from birth by your parents, by your teachers, by social media, by television, you're always conditioned. Every moment of your life, you're being conditioned. So you can either choose to condition yourself, or you can choose the outside world to allow them to condition you, basically. This is a harsh reality that no one really knows because most people don't live consciously. But if you live a conscious life, you begin and understand to know that everything's conditioning all around you, right? So you can either take your life into your own hands and condition yourself, or you can have other people do it for you, right? So in order to condition yourself, recondition yourself, you have to say things until you believe them. This is the way you condition. This is what happens to kids, right? If you have a mum or dad or teacher or some friend at school that's not really your friend, if you have someone telling you you're thick and stupid, and they tell you, maybe you come along in life, you're really, really happy as a kid, you've had a good, maybe you have a really good life and everything, everything's going really well. Maybe your parents are supportive, for example. You get on really well with your parents, you go to school, then all of a sudden one of your people at school starts being nasty to you and tells you you're thick and stupid, and they repeatedly tell you that. By that repetition, it then gets into your subconscious mind and you begin to believe you're thick and stupid. Because why wouldn't you be? Because people keep telling you are, or this one person keeps drumming it into you. This is called conditioning, right? You're always conditioned. So when people are depressed or anxious and they don't like positive affirmations, they're like, oh, I'm lying to myself, right? You've basically been lied to a lot of your life. The people that are abusive to you, the people that are nasty to you, have been lying to you to condition your brain to believe that bad stuff about yourself. That is what it's to do with, right? So you can either take your own life into your own hands and condition yourself, or have someone do it for you. It's your choice in life. So you have to say things, even if you don't believe them at first, in order to rewire your brain to believe them. You say what you want to believe. You set your intention. The point is you want to be intentional about it. You want to have a better life, right? So whatever you want to be better, you need to reprogram your mind for that. It's a you know, I'm not perfect at it. I have to try and recondition my mind a lot. And what happened last year is, you may know that I had a relationship with a sexual guy, right? British guy. Very briefly, he was no good for me in the end, right? Ended, right? But during that time, I took down all my affirmations about being single, apart from, I think it was 2 that were faded, right? They're very faded, so you could barely read them. And because I find it hard when I'm in a relationship to switch my brain to be happily being in a relationship, because really I program my mind to be single and happy being single. It's very difficult for me to get back into relationships because I've reprogrammed myself to think it's not actually. I prefer being single. Right. Unfortunately, in my case, I'm very, very romantic. So I miss the kissing and that type of romantic relationship type of stuff. So that always kind of draws me back. But I needed to put all those affirmations back because my mind programming has now been weak. So my mind programming has been very, very weak, and that's not good for me. So I had to reprogram my mind again. So if you want to do this, if you want more self-love in your life, if you're fed up of being kind of an addict to dating relationships, you're feeling the whole process painful now. You'll find it's really upsetting for you, which is what I was finding when I was thinking about my Indian soulmate that I haven't met yet. I was getting very, very upset, feeling a lot of pain and heartache there that I haven't met him yet. There's kind of a need in me, and I'm just thinking this is no good, right? So one of the things you need to do is you need to get Post-it notes, right? These are piles of Post-it notes, right? These are bigger ones than the usual little ones. And then you need to get a pen, right? So you get a pen like this, a marker pen, or even a fluorescent pen, whatever you want. And if it's a marker pen, it stays there, right? And then I've put, I love being single, happy being single. And then these Post-it notes you post around your home. So I've got one on my wardrobe, which this desktop's in. This is a Mac desktop you're on, and it's in a workstation wardrobe, so I can shut the doors at night, and it's my bedroom, right? So I live in my bedroom, as you probably noticed. So I've got one of these on my doors. I've got another built-in wardrobe over there. I've got one of them on there. And I've got 2 of these either side of the mirror in the toilet. So when I'm cleaning my teeth, I can read it, and I can also say it out loud in the mirror in between reading. In between cleaning my teeth, I can say it out loud in the mirror. Now, this works far more if you say it in the mirror. If you say it out loud to yourself, I love being single, I'm happy being single, I'm really happy being single, it's amazing being single, all this type of thing. You know, you don't have to stick to your script, you can go off it. You know, you just carry on and on and on. The more you say it, the more you drum it into your mind, the more you believe it, the more you become it. Right? And you look in the mirror, it's better if you hear yourself say the word speak it and get that visual component. And then I've got a mirror in the hallway, and I've got I had one faded, so I wrote over it in marker pen, and I actually wrote another one, but for some reason it dropped down. So now I've stuck that on my CD player. So whenever I put my headphones on, I got my CD player. It's like, I love being single. Actually, it's here. I may as well just show you because I had it. Oh, I got my throat sweets here at the same time. I just dropped on the floor. So I have a Sony player. So yeah, you could argue that most people don't do this nowadays because they have things on their computer. So you can put Post-it notes on your computer as well. I've already got different Post-it notes. See, so I've got this. I love being single. Happy, very happy being single. See? So I love my Sony player. My dad got me, gave me the money for these headphones. They're amazing headphones, got really good beat to them. So, you know, you need to do stuff like that. You need to put these all around your home. You know, I don't want to hear like, oh, I put one up. You need to put them around. So like every morning now when I wake up, that's on my wardrobe right in front of me. I can't help but see it. You have to put these in obvious places where you see it. Because every time you look at it, whether you mean to look at it or not, because you will look at it if it's in places that smack you in the face, basically. Not literally, but obviously when you look at them, theoretically, hypothetically, you know, when you see this thing, this is what's going to drum into your mind, right? So since I've been doing this, I felt a lot happier being single. And another thing you can do, you can list all the pain and all the disadvantages of being in a relationship, because that then makes you feel better about being single. You know, all the drama, all the heartache, the pain, all the struggle, because it is a struggle. There is going to be heartache and pain with relationships, sadly. doesn't mean to say it's not worth it, but it's not going to be worth it if you're in a bad way in your mind, because if you're in a negative mindset before you get into a relationship, if you're in a painful mindset, that's not really going to help the relationship anyway. And at the moment, I've decided that I'm not in a financial position to actually have a healthy relationship, because I can't afford to go traveling to the person. Now, to have a asexual relationship, you must know you've either got to be a mover, usually, or travel. Or you've got to find someone who'll be a mover or travel to see you. Eventually, you want to be living near the person. Most people do, even if you don't want to live near each other. Even if you don't want to live in the same place as each other, you really need to be moving to live near each other eventually. You need to be having that goal, right? Having a relationship which is just completely online is not healthy in the long term, right? You want to have some sort of reconciliation, some sort of goal in mind in the very end, right? Ideally within a year, 2 years, right? You need to be able to travel at least to see each other in person. Otherwise, you don't really know a person online. You get snapshots of them. You don't get them day in, day out with all their little weird, quirky mannerisms and their bad habits. Do you know what I mean? As well as good habits, obviously. So it's really important that you have real life experience, and the only way you're going to get that is spending more and more time with each other, maybe spending some time in each other's places. So I'm not in a financial position at the moment to be going around traveling anyway. So, if I met an Indian guy tomorrow, for example, he lived in London, I haven't got the money to commute, which means him coming to me, which is all very well, but eventually he's going to want me to go up there, more equality, right? Which I can't do. So I've decided that I'm not going to be pursuing dating relationships anymore for the foreseeable future at the moment this year. And I'm going to be focusing on my business career and focusing more on self-love, self-esteem, self-dating, self-compassion, and all that type of thing. Now, last time I did this, this detox thing, which was 2012, basically, nearly all of 2012. So from October 2011, I was forcing myself, November 2011, sorry, which is when I split up with my ex. I don't know if I said October originally, but it's November the 5th, 2011, right? So from that time, I decided I wanted a whole year with no dating, no relationships, because I wanted to be happy being single. I had to reprogram my mind because I don't want to end up in a relationship that's unhealthy and abusive. And if you are feeling unsure of yourself, if you're feeling like you can't live with that relationship, you're going to end up with abuser usually again, right? So it's not going to be good. So you have to detoxify, completely detach from that. So for a year, I tried not to be in a relationship. But just because I tried not to be in a relationship doesn't mean to say it wasn't hard, because I had people after me all the time, a lot of the time, not consistently. But every time I had someone interested in me, it was like 3 guys at once, right? So even though I was trying to stay single, it's very difficult. And I did end up dating again in October. Yeah, so I ended up splitting up. Sorry, told you I'm not completely well. So in November 2011 was when my ex split up with me. And October 2012 was when a guy I started actual dating, which I'd never done dating prior to that. It's always been like seen someone get into a relationship with them. So I did do some dating. Actually, that guy really broke my heart. But I know him now as a kind of a friend of where I go somewhere out eating, because he works in one of the places I need to eat, because I have a lot of food allergies. So I decided to stay friends with him because of that. He's got a girlfriend, a fiance. I'm really happy for him. They're really suitable. So I'm over that now. But at the time, he really broke my heart. So that's kind of hard. But, the whole point is just because I've given up at the moment actively pursuing a relationship, or tried to do that as much as possible, don't forget you've got bad habits you'll always slip back into. So I have to catch myself. And start saying, Sandra, are you actively pursuing a relationship right now? Maybe. How long have you spent on this? You're supposed to be spending time with yourself, on your business, leading your own life, doing your own thing. What are you doing? So stop it now. Do you know what I mean? So there is that element to it, right? So I'm not saying I'm going to be doing it perfectly. I'm not saying everything's going to go according to plan. And usually the last time I did this, I had like 3 guys after me at once, right? So just because I've decided to not actively pursue a relationship, it doesn't mean to say I don't want one, right? But I am happy being single now, much, much happier being single. And I don't need a relationship, and I'm trying not to actively pursue one, right? And so, but just because you know, I've decided not to actively pursue one doesn't mean to say that things aren't going to happen, right? So obviously I do a lot of dating relationships on this channel. My worry is like, what do I do, you know, in terms of dating relationships if I'm not actively pursuing a relationship anymore at the moment, right? But I thought just because you're not actively pursuing it doesn't mean to say guys aren't going to be interested in you, right, Sandra? Because last time you did this, you had guys after you, right? So that has happened again, and I'm going to be filling you in on more details about what's been happening since I've been sick into dating and relationships, because it's still ongoing, even though I've decided not to actively pursue. So it's the same sort of thing as last time, you know. So it's very, very interesting. And you know, and I do catch myself sometimes I do see a guy and I do like say something to him, for example on meetup.com. So although I say I'm not actively pursuing date relationships, so I've done a detox, there are times when I do see someone, like I said, for an example on meetup.com. Well, there's two people that message me back on there, and I messaged one of them before I decided to do my detox. So I'm going to be talking more now in future videos. And there's another guy that approached me on there because, like I said, you know, just because I'm not pursuing it doesn't mean to say it's not going to happen. I've still kept my profiles on Asexuality, Facebook dating site. I've still kept my dating profiles. So I've not cut off that. I've not cut off completely from dating relationships. I'm just stopping the addiction to having to check my phone every 5 minutes for ASAP people messaging me and feeling really upset all the time and like het up about the whole thing. Like, why aren't I getting people messaging me? Like, oh my God, it's the same people again all over the place. You know what I mean? That type of toxicity, I've stopped. So I'm happy about that. And I'm trying to reprogram my mind as much as possible to be happy being single. And I have to say it's working, because I do feel a lot more relief now when I pursue my own goals, ambitions, and needs. While I think about being single, I feel empowered, right? Because Andy's one of my best friends. Andy reminded me that I'm a very independent person. And I kind of feel lately that I've been relying too much on other people, right? And I've got to stop doing that. Right, let me check the chat a minute. So Mind Your Business said, I've removed myself off one of the main asexual dating groups on Facebook. Too many people giving me crap because of what I do for a job, but yet I'm asexual. Just a bunch of bullies on there. Oh, right, okay, Mind Your Business. I don't know if you're an asexual prostitute, because I know there's a singles group on there where a singles group on Facebook that I'm in, and I know some of the people, or at least one person in that group, is an asexual, but they're a prostitute at the same time for a job. So I don't know if that is actually the case for you, but if it is, you know, I understand, because like you said, or like I said, you know, unfortunately the world is highly sexualized, you know, and sexual behavior isn't the same as sexual attraction, which is what a lot of people think. Yeah, you know, that if you're asexual, you completely have no sexual behavior whatsoever, you don't participate in any sexual acts whatsoever, and you don't do any sexual stuff. This is the yep, that's me. It's your friend on Facebook. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. I don't know which friend you are because I don't recognise your Mind Your Business, but yeah, I'm pleased to have you here. But yeah, so yeah, yeah, I mean, you know, if you do that for a job, you do it for a job, right? I think the problem is there's too many people telling asexuals when they can and can't be. I understand going very, very far back to just getting sick of them on there. So remove myself off there. I was just putting our post out saying, hey, anyone who's open-minded to my job but asexual, please hit me up. Yeah, I can understand Mind Your Business. It's very, you know, I understand. Sometimes you have to do it to detox. It's not worth the hassle being in a group where you're getting constantly criticized and told you can't be who you are because of your job. Because I've known there's been a person in there for a long time as a prostitute. I knew it. I mean, I've been in that group for years and I always knew it. And they all took it upon themselves to see it as a competition as to what I do for a job. And I was like, no, this isn't what my post is about. It was a post saying, PM me if you're open-minded. That's it. Yeah. Oh, at the end of the day, you know, if you do that for a job, you do it for a job, innit? It's a job. You know, it's, you know, I think it's easy for people to judge other people. You know, I in the past have been guilty of judging people probably. When I first came to asexuality myself, I have to say that even I didn't understand why some asexuals did sexual stuff. Then I realised about myself that I have some sexual behaviour. And so now I've completely changed, because I'm like, Sandra, you have some sexual behaviour. How can you be judging other people, saying, oh, well, thinking or even believing? This is like 5 years, well, more than 5 years ago, 2014, I found I was asexual. So this is like 6 years ago now, because we're in 2020 when I'm doing this live stream. So my very first, you know, time as being an asexual, when I first found out about it, I was like, I could understand like why asexuals would believe that that if other asexual has anything to do with sex or sexual acts, that they're not really asexual. I kind of got that back then, because that was more my mentality when I first came into asexuality. But I then self-examined myself. I just realised a shock that I could get aroused, high levels of arousal. I realised this very quickly in 2014, back in when I first began, that I do have high levels of arousal and I do have some sexual behavior. And so how can I say anything to anyone else when I have this myself? And it's because I've got that I understand other people more now. But I guess some asexuals that don't have that at all, they don't see it. Mind your business. And then and then I was just getting called an attention seeker, etc. And I was just like, look, I'm telling you, all I'm looking for, someone who is open-minded as a partner. That's it. I have bipolar disorder. None of what I do as a job turns me on whatsoever. I disassociate, and people need to understand that people with bipolar disorder can do that, and a lot of us do sex work. I mean, I know I mean, my auntie had bipolar disorder. She wasn't asexual, and she didn't obviously do that. So there are obviously people with bipolar disorder that don't do that. But you know, I don't think you really need to explain yourself anyway, because it's up to you what you do. But yeah, yeah. So I had, like, my auntie, she killed herself in the end. If I'm honest about it, I really, it was tragic. So yeah, she had manic depression and bipolar, bipolar disorder. They're kind of like the same thing, aren't they? Really. So obviously she didn't do anything like that. So, but what you're saying is, but a lot of sex workers do have bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. It's I know my auntie had manic depressant, bipolar disorder. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder as well, as far as I understand. But yeah, but a lot of sex workers do have bipolar disorder. It's very interesting you say that, though. I didn't know that, because obviously I wouldn't know, because I don't, I'm not in that field of industry myself. But it's, obviously you know what you're talking about. So it's very interesting. Yeah, so that's how you're able to disassociate from it. I mean, I think sometimes, like, in some ways you can reprogram your mind actually for a lot of different things, but it's a very controversial topic area. I believe that if you're willing to, you can basically reprogram your mind for anything if you're willing. I mean, obviously with me, I personally don't like sex these days. For me, I can't stand it personally for me, but I'm not sex repulsed for other people, just for me. And I physically can't do that because my mind doesn't want it anymore. My mind's just like, I just like my body. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it with even really good looking guys, really hot guys that I love kissing. I just can't do that. I just like, it's just like, at the moment, I don't think that's going to ever change now. Yeah, because a lot of men say we are dead behind the eyes. That's because we are in those situations. We aren't actually there mentally. We're elsewhere. Oh, bless you. That must be quite hard, though. Is it hard, or does that come naturally then? Is that a natural thing for you to be like that, and you happy to be like that? Or do you have to kind of make yourself like that to deal with the situation? Because it must be kind of difficult, I would have thought. But obviously, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not in that position, so I don't know. But, I would have thought that when you're doing any that type of job, whether it's sexting, because obviously there's sexting industry, there's call chat lines, that type of thing as well that you can do, isn't there? Anonymous call chat, so you can talk about sex stuff on the telephone. via special number, all that type of thing. I would have thought that you have to kind of like mentally switch off or mentally change your mind about it and think like you're providing a service, you're helping some people. Yeah, it's hard. You have to say the same crap every day and do the same crap every day. It's like living off a script. Yeah, that's what I would have thought, yeah, I would have, I mean, obviously I'm not in that industry, but I do a lot of research about different stuff, including sex. And I find out different stuff, and I'm thinking, I try and put myself, I haven't put myself in the prostitute's place, but I've tried to put myself in the position of like, what if I was doing sex chat? How the heck would I cope with that? And I've thought stuff like, the only way you could do that is by switching your mind around. You just think you're providing a service, but if you get repulsed by what you're saying and what the other person's talking about, do you know what I mean? If you can't switch off to it, then you'd want to throw up the whole time. I am a completely sex repulsed. It makes me feel physically sick anytime I've finished doing anything sexual. Therefore, when it comes to a personal relationship, I don't even want to do kissing. Right. God, that must be so difficult then, your job. Must be very, very, very hard. Like you say, you've got to completely disassociate. It's the only way you could get through it, isn't it, really? But like I said, like when I was talking about reprogramming your mind using NLP, I think you can reprogram your mind if you're willing in some way to do it. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way you can do it. Reprogram your mind, you've got to be willing to do it. If you're not willing to do it, then there's no point. But yeah, it must be really difficult for you, I've got to admit. Do you want to do a different type of job, or have you kind of like so used to that now that you're just settled into that? And is it well paid, if you don't mind me asking? Do you know what I mean? I just want to be interested. I just wondered, like if it's like something that you see yourself doing in future years because you're used to it and you know what to do, and it's kind of like like you've got a system going now, so it's kind of like you're used to it. Or is it something that you'd like to change in the future and do something different? I must, I would have thought that once you get into that, it's kind of hard to do something different because you're so used to doing it and you're used to how it works. I haven't got the childcare in the holidays anymore. What about a work from home job? Other work from home jobs, is there anything you could do there? Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard being asexual and working, to be honest, because I think a lot of asexuals, I think we don't fit into the norm. Do you know what I mean? We're very different anyway, and I think that's hard. Pay is good if I have the clientele. Most men nowadays just want to be really disgusting and ask for an act for a very, very low price, and I won't lower myself to that. Too risky STDs, etc. There's no normal work from home jobs. Well, I'm talking about making money online, that type of thing, like selling things online, making things and selling them. There are all those pyramid schemes jobs, the work from home ones, not regular income. Well, I sell stuff online from home. It's not everything's I sell physical products, because you can have eBay, you can sell stuff on eBay, for example. You can sell stuff on Etsy. You can sell stuff on Marketplace. You can sell stuff on Amazon. So there are people that do that, but it means obviously learning stuff. So not everything's pyramid scheme because I do it myself. So you know what I mean? I don't do pyramid scheme. Yeah, I sell things online also. It doesn't earn me enough of an income to live off. Yeah, I do understand. It can be quite difficult sometimes. To earn a full-time living at it. I know people who do it, but obviously it can be quite hard to do that. Yeah, I think it's kind of there's a lot of online work as well. Yeah, I have an eBay set up, always selling stuff on there. It isn't going to feed me and my kid and my dog and afford car insurance, etc. Yeah, I think it's very difficult these days. I know some people. I know a guy who does have an eBay shop and he does make a full-time living off it, because I know he told me exactly the amount of money and I've known him for a long time. So, and I know he does make a full-time living off it. He does have another job. He doesn't use it as a full-time living, but he uses it. He's making like 13,000, I think, a year was the last. I think he told me he made. Before then, it used to be 11,000. It went up to 13. So you do know what I mean? It's like because I'm like, if I had an eBay store like that, I wouldn't even work. But I mean, he's used it to pay for his mortgage and stuff with his girlfriend. So he kept his full-time job and had that as well. Do you know what I mean? So some people do, and he's very young. He's been doing it, for quite a few years, and he's only in his early 20s. Yeah, no, it's easy. People say find a work from home job. There aren't any. There's no legit ones. There's no regular income. There's no help with childcare on the holidays. It is hard to work from home. I mean, the stuff I sell online, that's not full-time regular income. That's like extra side money. Do you know what I mean? I'm not at the moment making a full-time income online myself. So yeah, not at the moment. But like I said, this guy who does his eBay shop, I know him very well. I've known him for 5 years. 5 years I've known him. 5 years, yeah. And I helped him actually with some online social media stuff and mentoring actually. So I kind of helped grow his social media following. So yeah, and he does very, very well, but he knows his best sellers. He gets regular customers and new customers, and he literally has stuff in his house. He buys and sells stuff. So he buys stuff cheaper and sells it on, but he does, literally have a full-time income. I know a guy as well who is really, really young, 19 years old, making £5,000 a time on Amazon. I mean, obviously, £5,000 is still not a full-time income, but the guy who does eBay, he does it. 13,000 is better than some employed jobs in the UK. So yeah, but it is hard. But yeah, I mean, if it's whatever you're happy with and whatever is good for you at the time. But like you say, if you've got a kid to feed and you've got bills, and that's the only thing at the moment you can find that works to do all that, you're going to do it, aren't you? That's the thing. Sometimes you have to do whatever it takes to feed yourself, to feed your I mean, I don't have kids. I have a furry kid, Angel, but she's got a lot of medication for her diabetes that costs a lot of money. At the moment, her insurance has been paying for it, but it runs out this year. They won't reinsure her for diabetes. So that's why I was saying on my channel recently that I'm going to be having to do products for sexuals. And that's really difficult for me to tell people on this channel, right? Because it's not something I particularly wanted to go into doing originally. Because I'm asexual. I love helping asexuals. I'm personally sex repulsed myself. And it's very difficult when I think, sexuals get enough publicity, they get enough help and support, they get enough stuff, you know what I mean? Products given to them, and sex is all over the place. It's not something I particularly want to specifically go into as such. But obviously, no one wants me though because I'm fat. Everyone's always texting me randomly just saying I'm a flat slag, etc. And then people wonder why I hate men, use them for money, or they're good for the majority of them. Oh, I think I know who you are now. I went on a date with an asexual recently. You know what he said to me? Even though he's known me for the past year, I don't think I can go out with you because of your job. What a load of crap. He'd known me for the past bloody year. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if he'd known that you do that for a job already, then I guess, he knew that going forward. There wasn't really much point in having a date with you, was it? Unless he thought you were going to give that up for him. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, some people wouldn't be happy with that, obviously, because it's their prerogative. Some people wouldn't be happy and comfortable with it. But at the same time, if he'd already known you do that and he decided to go on a date with you anyway, what was the point in going on the date? Unless he thought you were going to give it up for him or something. Maybe that's what he thought. I don't know. But yeah, if he's known you already do that. He wanted me to drive all the way to see him. 3 hours driving in total, and I paid for our meal. Oh, that's no good. no good. And you know, I don't think it's true that you're fat. I really don't think it's true. People love all shapes and sizes. I'm not a skinny girl, right? I'm not huge, but I'm definitely not a skinny girl. And guys love me still. Now he's messaging me today asking how I am and saying he thinks he's now not asexual and he wants to try and find a sexual relationship. I said, you can go ask some other woman, you idiot. Yes, I've got a story behind that type of thing as well. There's a guy recently who's on an well, I was going to talk about this in another video, but basically I'm talking about a relationship dating detox, right? There's this guy on ASAP that I messaged, and he lived in the UK, and I thought I'll invite him to, I may as well say it now, that I thought I'd invite him to an asexual meetup, right? And then I told him that I have the grey area of kissing because it's sexual and behaviour. Yeah, I'm definitely asexual. You know, I don't want sex. You know, I lack sexual. I'm definitely asexual, basically. You know, I'm too sexual in behaviour for some asexuals, but I'm not sexual enough for sexuals because I don't want the sex. And then he told me straight away I'm not really asexual, and he sent me a photograph of him in bed, which obviously as an asexual person not interested in. And yeah, he showed me a picture of him in bed, saying, "I'll show you a picture. Send me one of you. Send me one of you." And I said no, because I said I don't want a dishonest guy, and you're dishonest. I said you're dishonest, and I said I am asexual. I don't want sex, and I'm nudity repulsed, and you're not telling me the truth, and I don't want somebody who doesn't tell me the truth. That's the last he spoke to me. So yeah, I was going to do that on a video, but I've told you now, because you know. So I find out a lot of the people that are attracted to me, they're not really asexual. I attract all the sexual guys, even the asexual guys that say they're asexual. A lot of them, if they're attracted to me, they're either on the really sexual end of the asexual spectrum, or they're not really asexual, and they admit it in plain writing to me. I'm fat is true. I am really fat, so yeah, but I get all these random texts and emails all the time from random punters. Send them a picture back of a random man in bed. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, that's really funny. I just don't have anything to do with them. I said I'm not interested in a guy in bed either. That's what I said to him. I knew they were pals, you know. It's like, honestly, I'm not actually asexual. I found them out. All I said to my friend Andy, who's in this chat, so I said, all you have to do is show them a picture of me, Andy. If they're attracted to me, it usually means they're sexual. So every asexual should do that. You should just show them a picture of me, Sandra, and say, do you find this girl attractive? Would you actually want to be in a relationship with her or date her? If the answer to that is yes, not aesthetically, she's just aesthetically good looking, would you actually consider a relationship with her, or want to be? Usually they're asexual. Mind you, even most of the ones that find me aesthetically attractive, they're sexual as well. So yeah, it's really difficult, you know. I personally don't think I could be in a relationship with someone who was a male prostitute. You know, I don't think I'd like that personally. But then I wouldn't want to even go on a date because, you know, if I know they do that for a job, why would I want to change them if they do that? Do you know what I mean? And that's how they earn their living. Do you know what I mean? I personally don't think I could mentally cope with that type of scenario. That's me. That's not everyone else. But, you know, I think it's really bad that they expect you to pay for the meal and drive. I don't do that. I always say to guys, if you want me, you can come and get me, right? If you want me, you can come and travel to me. There's another story about that soon coming as well. So yeah, that's what I say. Then you find out if they're serious about you or not. If they're not prepared to drive and see you and actually make an effort, then they're not really serious. There's absolutely no way I'm gonna start paying for guys' meals. When I do asexual meetups, we all pay for our own food usually. But you know, sometimes I do get bought drinks. Like Andy yesterday, I met my best friend, one of my best friends, Andy. Yesterday, we went just me and them to the aquarium, and they bought me 2 drinks, which was very, very nice. You know, so sometimes people do buy me stuff, but in general, we pay for our food and drinks ourselves. So I don't like getting into that scenario of, oh, I buy you one, you owe me one another time. It's like, no, if you want to buy me a drink, that's nice. I'll accept it usually, but not all the time. But usually, a lot of the time I do. But sometimes I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll pay for it myself. But sometimes I do quite a bit, you know, and that's okay if they do. But I don't want this, I'll buy you one, you can buy me next one. I don't like that because I don't always have the money to do that. And I just don't like owing people things. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, don't do something so the person owes you something back. Do it because you want to do it in the first place. I had a message from Andy on here in chat earlier. This is really good. You can have different priorities at different times in your life. You need to focus on something else for a bit. It means you are strong and in control of your life. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, that's why I decided to go back on the. That's why I decided to go back to being happy being single. And obviously, I can do more posts on here about self-love and being single as well. And obviously, I'll still have guys after me anyway, like I have been doing. Like I said, that one on ASAP. You know, it's like, you know, like one that wasn't really asexual. I'm like, typical, isn't it? And he said he likes cougars as well, because obviously I'm an asexual cougar. He goes, oh yeah, I like cougars as well. I'm like, yeah, cougars with an S, meaning plus, meaning you just like loads of women. So you know what I mean? I was like, I just not interested. So I'm really sorry you had that experience though, because that, you know, the guy shouldn't expect you to pay or travel that way. And if he already knew for a year you did your job, then why did he even want to date with you if he couldn't handle that? Do you know what I mean? Unless he discussed with you beforehand about stuff. But like you said, if you've got a kid, you know, some people do, you know, like at the end of the day, when you've got to feed yourself and put food on the table, you do whatever it takes, don't you, to keep yourself alive and your kid alive and your home. This is what you do. You know, people don't realize it's very, very, very difficult. This is what you'll do anything. It's like, you know, I'm going to have to be moving over to do stuff more for the sexual market. Although I don't particularly want to do that, I can't live off fresh air, right? The stuff I do for asexuals predominantly, most of the stuff I do for asexuals, not all of it, most of the stuff I do is for free. I do more free stuff than anything. Obviously, I have my book out. You know, people buy my book. Oh God, sorry, God. But yeah, people buy this book. But I mean, you know, this book doesn't make me rich. It makes me rich in the sense of it changes people's lives, but it doesn't make me rich with money, right? I don't need to be rich with money, but you know, I can't live. It doesn't pay my rent or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's more like pocket money, and it goes back to pay for my websites, my domain hosting. So really, it all goes back into expenses for, you know, keeping up my asexualized.com blog, you know, paying for my internet so I can like be on the internet. You know what I mean? And most of it goes on web hosting and domain names. To be honest, I've got four asexual domain names, and I've got you know, domain hosting to pay for. So it mostly goes into that type of thing, to be perfect. And a business insurance. I'm fully insured as a business, which most people wouldn't even do, but I do. So, you know, pretty much all goes back into that. So, you know, I don't make anything really from asexual stuff. You know what I mean? I don't make, I mean, I can, excuse me, still design t-shirts. I do still sell some, but I don't make any more new ones lately because, you know, people just copy my designs. I spend like an hour per design. Excuse me, you know, and then they just copy it, and it's like, well, you know, what's the point, you know? I just don't, you know, I do unique designs. I don't believe in copying other people's work, but the trouble is sometimes you can be so honest and people just still copy you. They don't care about you. They're just like, I'll copy it, it's a good design. I mean, it's honoured that it's such a good design that people feel they need to copy it all the time, but it's just like, yeah, okay, just get your own designs. So that, you know, so, and I do, you know, I've got the free asexuality basics for beginners course, standing against free. I'm doing asexual meter mastery course, which I am going to charge for. It's taking me like 5 months to do it though, and the money that I'm charging for it in comparison to how many hours I've put in and months I've worked on it, it's going to be a lot different, you know, a lot less. So again, that usually goes on things to do with like, you know, like website domains and book, you know, like even when I publish books, I've still got to like pay for certain things. So I'm self-publisher. So, you know, I do understand where you're coming from, is what I'm trying to say, is that sometimes you have to do whatever it takes to feed yourself. Obviously, you've got a kid, keep a roof over your head. You know, you got to deal with your current situation. So maybe in future you can make more money online. Maybe in the future you can get a different type of job, but you have to deal with the here and now, don't you? And at the end of the day, you're doing the best thing you know how to do in the situation with what your knowledge is and experience, you know. And it's, you know, when people are in live or do or die situations, that's what you do. You do anything to survive, you know, anything. That's the reality of the situation that a lot of people don't live in, sadly. You know, like I'm going to be doing books for sexuals, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to be doing some courses for sexuals with my new erogenicity brand. You know, that's going to be difficult for me to do because I don't want asexuals to feel that I'm betraying them or I'm going against them or I'm not really asexual when I am. But I do, you know, I'm very open and honest. I always have been. And so I've been in heterosexual relationships for half my life. I have all that experience. I know what good sex is, despite the fact I don't like sex in general. I don't need it for me. Do you know what I mean? So I can teach other people through books and videos about how to be, well, I love passion without sex, which you can have, you know, passion with sex or without sex. So I can teach a lot of that stuff. I remember a lot of stuff from my ex-mate at half years, stuff he used to do that physically did used to stimulate me, that, you know, I can just remember all that stuff. So why not put it to good use, get money to keep the roof over my head, to keep being online for asexuals? Because, you know, everything costs money. That's the reality of the situation. You know, it's easy for people to judge and say, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I don't want to do that, or, you know, but it actually takes guts sometimes to do something that goes against your own sexuality sometimes, or your own ideology. Sometimes it takes guts to do that. It takes guts and courage to be able to get out of your comfort zone and do something that's to save yourself and to fulfill a need that you need at the moment, to fulfill something in your life. They shouldn't feel betrayed. You have a lot of expertise in other areas to share. Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you. I do have a lot of experience in other areas. I mean, I've never, ever held back the fact that I've had sex before with 5 guys. I told it in my very first coming out video, which is one of the first videos on my channel, you know. And the only way I'm actually going to get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation throughout the globe is directly saying it to sexuals. That means providing products for them. And when I talk about sex, to actually say, well, I'm asexual, and let them know that it's important, if they want lots of sex, for example, that they get someone else that wants that. So that's where asexuality comes into it. Like, I'm asexual, didn't realise till later on in my life, but basically I don't experience sexual attraction, so I have a need for sex, even though I've had bad and good sex, which is why I can help sexuals, you know. But you need to know that one of the questions you should be asking early on in dating and relationships is like, how much sex does the person want? Talk about it frankly, like asexuals do all the time, you know, because that's a lot of problems with sexuals. Why a lot of sexual relationships fail is because they're not sexually compatible. Because one sexual person might want sex 3 times a day, another sexual person might want sex 1 time a week. Do you see what I mean? This is why sexuals have a lot of problems with their relationships, because asexuals, to be honest, can be a lot of frank, right? Like last night I went out, right? I went out dancing. I went into, well, the night before now, because we're just into Sunday. So I went out to a meetup group. I've never met these people before in my life. Not an asexual meetup group. It's a social group for my city. Went out dancing with them, right? And at the end of the night, I told them about being asexual and what I do. And I had 3 people really, really listening hard to what I do, right? And I was telling them, like, since, you know, like asexuals, we just talk matter of fact about relationships. We'll talk about, you know, like whether we want sex or not, what sexual acts we want to do or not, you know, what physicality stuff we like. We'll just be very blunt. You know, like, although there's a lot of sex talk in the world, we don't have enough open conversations about sex to do with dating and relationships, right? Whereas asexuals do. We'll just be very blunt. We're just like, we like sex, we don't like sex, we like some sex, or we might not like some sex. We might be willing to do stuff, we might not. You know, we like this touching, we don't like that touching. You know, we'll be very blunt. We'll talk about you know, hobbies, interests. We'll be very, very matter of fact about it, to be perfectly honest. And that's what's lacking in the sexual world and sexual relationships. They don't have a blooming clue what they're doing. I can help those people and therefore spread awareness of asexuality at the very same time. This is where I'm like, should I be in a polyamorous relationship? Because I know that I cannot offer them any sex whatsoever. I've got a potential love interest now and he's not keen on the idea. But what else can we do? Because I can't offer him sex, not constantly for years. It's different when it's a job, as a job wants every now and then. As for the hour and you're paid for it, it's different. When you're in a committed relationship and they're expecting sex all the time, you cannot commit to giving it to them when you're asexual and sex repulsed like me. Yeah, I mean, if you can't commit to doing it, then don't do it. there's no point, do you know what I mean, in making yourself sick and ill over it. You don't have to even be in a relationship. That was the point of like the video about detoxifying from dating relationships, like me, because what happens is you get to need a relationship, you get to want to be in one all the time, you get to needing one, and it's not good. So just decide to stay on your own for a bit, you know. I mean, the more you stay on your own, the more clients you can have, the more money you can get, to be quite frank with you, can't you, if you want to do that, you know? You've got more time on your hands, do you know what I mean, to get more money coming in for yourself, your kid, your insurance for your car. Do you know what I mean? You've got more time to have more clients if you want, or pay you to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? So really, being in a relationship, it's hard though, because I agree with you. We don't need a relationship, but I like this one guy. Is that the one guy that you're talking about, that you paid for his food and that you travelled to see him, and he can't accept the fact that you do that for a job? Is that the same guy, or is it a different guy? Because if it's the same guy, I'd say he doesn't really care about you. He's using you to pay for, you know, can't handle the job you've got. He's expecting you to drive there and you to pay for everything. Oh, hi, Fiola. Hi, Sandra. Been a long time. I missed you. Oh, thank you. Lots of love. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been nearly 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, actually. So we're in the middle of a major discussion, Fiola, at the moment, because Mind Your Business, this person who's asexual, but they do work as a prostitute, and they felt really kind of upset, I think, and discouraged that they're in a asexual group and the people there wasn't accepting. Hi, Sandra. Been a long time. I missed you. Thank you. So yeah, we're in the middle of a conversation at the moment. Thank you, Fiola, for missing me. I really appreciate that. It's nice to have you back. Yeah, I was thinking about you actually. So I'll get back to the chat we're having. So Mind Your Own Business is a person who is asexual, but they are a prostitute for a job, which means it's quite like, can be seen as controversial to boo a bit, and some people don't understand it, right? And so this person called Mind Your Business has felt like a probably word outcast, maybe might be a appropriate word to use, because they felt like they weren't being accepted in an asexual group because of what they do for a job, and you know, it's been quite hard on them. So we're just discussing this. Mind Your Business, sorry, has got a kid to support, you know, rent to have, and they've been doing this for a while and know what they're doing. So this is what they do for a job. So we're just discussing that, and how sometimes it takes courage to do things that you don't necessarily want to do in order to provide yourself with money for food, right? You know, in order to have food to live on. You know, in this world, sometimes you have to do things you don't necessarily want to do, or not the best thing for you. You know, to live, to support yourself and your. You know, I don't have children, but if you've got a child, you know, that type of thing. So Mind Your Business. No, this is a different guy. This guy's not asexual, he is sexual. Oh, right. Yes, you did say. Sorry. I would say, though, Mind Your Business, if he wants something that you can't do, then don't be in a relationship with him. He's no good for you. You have to think about if this guy's good for you, not if you want to be with him, not if you like him, but if he's any good for you. That's what you have to do. The question should be, is this guy any good for me? Is he going to add value to my life? Is he going to help me in my life? Is he going to be a good asset for me to have? If the answer is no, don't be with him. I can't see anything. I know you're attracted to him, but at the end of the day, attraction's not long lasting in practical terms. I mean, it might be long lasting as in your feeling, but at the end of the day, it's not sustainable to have a long, happy, healthy, loving relationship with someone who wants something from you that you can't do. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, if he, I couldn't be with someone who wants sex all the time. I mean, there is another asexual person that I know who's with another asexual now. But at the time, they had someone who was like is it nymphomaniac? Sex maniac? Is that the right word? It's nymphomaniac, sex maniac. Anyway, sex maniac, basically. They want sex all the time, expected, and he couldn't do it. He had to split up with them. It's too much for him. I do know what you mean. Exactly. Mind your business. Don't put yourself down. You know, when you're saying you're fat, you're putting yourself down and you're making yourself less of a person than you really are, and that lowers your self-esteem and confidence, and you end up getting idiots and creepy guys after you because you're lowering your self-esteem. I'm not a skinny girl, right? But I still get guys after me all the time, good guys and bad guys. It's just what it comes from there. So you know, you have to ask yourself, is this person any good for you? I don't think they are. We have a really strong spiritual connection. It's difficult. And he is contemplating being with me and being able to sleep around with others, but he doesn't think he can do it. Well, if he doesn't think he can do it, then I guess that's good in one sense. But does he accept your job? But if you can't give him the sex he needs, then it's no good, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, would he be willing to compromise? Would he be willing to do less sex? I mean, you're sex repulsor. You don't want sex at all, do you? Do you know what I mean? So if you don't want sex at all, then don't have it. Yeah, don't put yourself down, says Ciola. Yeah, thanks, Ciola. Easier said than done, unfortunately. I don't like me, never have done. But you have to. That's the problem, mind your business. Not liking yourself is your problem, because you're attracting guys who are low value guys who don't value you a lot of the time, who end up being abusive, and who are no good for you because you don't like yourself. You have to work, honestly, you need to work on your self-esteem and love yourself. Honestly, it will change your life. I didn't used to like myself. You have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to get a loving guy who's going to really, really love you. You're going to get idiots. Thiola, yeah, he accepts. Oh, mind your business. Yeah, he accepts my job. Thiola, yes, you have to accept all of you. When I'm in a relationship, I stop the prostitution. I just do the sex work all online instead. Okay. Oh, yeah. So so I don't really understand why the asexual guy was, but again, maybe he doesn't like that. You're doing that online. Mind your business. Oh, if another guy tries to be abusive towards me, I will be in the papers, trust me. Thiola, I never used to love myself or accept myself. Yeah, Thiola didn't actually. I remember on this channel you said that, but you have to. You really, really need to accept and love yourself for who you are. That's where you get abusers. People who have low self-esteem, low confidence, don't love themselves. They attract abusers. They're a major target for abusers over and over and over again. The only way you can't stop abusers being attracted to you, but the only way you can stop getting into relationships with abusers or spot the signs of an abuser is you start loving yourself more and realizing these guys are no good for you. I told the asexual guy that too, and he was like, "Oh no, I can't deal with you even doing it online." Yeah, okay. I mean, personally, I guess it's going to be difficult for me, because if I go into the erogenicity brand, I'm not going to be like taking my clothes off or anything like that, right? And it's going to be educational. That's how I'm going to do it. But even some guys might not like me even doing that. Do you know what I mean? But that'll be my business. But with that, I'm not going to take my clothes off. It's not going to be anything like that. I'm going to be educating guys. But obviously, I'm still going to be talking about some sexual stuff on there. But yeah, so obviously it's different to what you're doing. But I'm going to be educating people about, sex and stuff and erogenous zones for the erogenistic brand that I'm talking about. I'm still gonna be doing asexual videos, don't worry. But I might get to the stage in the future where I have to do I've got another YouTube channel that I'm going to be setting up for my Make Money Make Cash online brand, actually, which is a new brand that I'm going to be bringing out this year, which I'm going to be interviewing other people for, other experts in online marketing and online sales. So that's going to be a new channel coming out this year. So it's possible I might have to do less live streaming. Instead of it being a daily live stream on this show, I might have to do like more weekly or a couple of days a week, because I might have too much going on that. Plus my voice keeps going. I'm a bit concerned that because I'm live streaming 7 days a week, that it's affecting my vocal cords. Thiola, yes, true. Mind your business. You need to go on this morning, Sandra. Yes, I do want to go on this morning. I'm even connected to some of the producers on this morning, and they still won't get me on there. You have to petition for me. Let's set a petition. I told my mum I need to be on this morning. I told her about asexuality would be great. Mind your business and do a chat on asexuality. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to get on. But I have become friends with some of the people who are produce the program not friends, sorry, connected to some of the people that produce this morning. And I really want to be on there. They should have me on there. I suggested it to one of the show's producers, but they still wouldn't have it. that we should try and go on there. I literally had a chat to one of my asexual friends about this the other day, that we should try and go on there. I mean, I'm not in London as it is, but you know, I definitely, you know, want to go on there. It's something I've said to my mum numerous times, and like I said, I've even connected with some of the producers, but I haven't got on there yet. At the Eamon Holmes and Phil Schofield, not those. No, they're not the producers. They're presenters. They're not producers. They're just presenters. You have to contact the producers, the ones that are the people that say yes or no to people going on there. Because at the end of the day, Phil Schofield did a big statement the other day on live TV coming out as gay. Yeah, I know he did. That's what my mum told me, and I said I should be on there talking about asexuality, because it's the only thing they haven't really discussed on there, which is ridiculous. And I find it really difficult because a lot of the opportunities that come along for asexual publicity, a lot of the opportunities, because I don't live in London, a lot of the opportunities are in London, which is very annoying for me. If I lived in London, I'd be able to go, you know, like more easily get onto these things, and they can let the producers know. No, I mean, can you not hassle them and they can let the producer know? I'm not in contact with Phil Schofield or Eamon Holmes. I'm no direct contact with them. Because obviously, if you are hassling the presenters on Twitter, they get a lot of publicity, etc. And therefore, it may be another route into getting a hold of the producers. This morning was Sandra Bellamy. Yeah, it should be this morning with Sandra Bellamy. I'd be a good presenter on there, actually. I'd love to be a presenter on TV. It's one of my kind of dreams. But I've got other dreams now. I'm going to be on stage anyway in the future, but yeah. I definitely should. All you have to do is tweet them. Fantastic. Thank you, Andy. Well, I mean, I can tweet them. It's not a problem for me, but I've tweeted some people before and they don't always reply, but I know that they're not the ones who have the say. But yeah, I could do tweeting. They're all on Twitter today regarding Caroline Flack. I mean, don't actually watch TV specific. I used to watch This Morning all the time. My mum tells me all the time stuff that goes on there, but I don't actually watch TV as a general rule. Have you heard Caroline Flack passed away? I was shocked. No, I didn't know. Fiola. Yeah, very sad. No, I didn't know. Sorry. I didn't know. Obviously, I know they aren't the ones that don't have the say. Have you heard Caroline Flack? No, I didn't know Caroline Flack had passed away because I haven't been on. I mean, I slept a long time today because obviously I haven't been very well lately, so I've been getting better, so I've been sleeping a lot more. And yesterday was the first time I went out, which wasn't to do with getting food or go for appointments that I needed to go like legally to. So yesterday was the first time I went out socialising, which I went with Andy to the aquarium, and then I went out dancing later on, which was a 10-minute walk from where I lived. And then I was sleeping because I had less than 4 hours sleep before I met Andy, and then I was sleeping like till late today, and then I was waking on the asexual meetup mastery course. I didn't switch anything on, didn't even switch social media on, because I just get so distracted. I can't get any work done. I just get messaged all the time, which I like. You know, don't get me wrong, I like supporting asexuals, and I'm glad I've got loads of friends. It's really lovely. But when I'm constantly getting messaged, I feel I care about people. So obviously I want to reply, but I don't get any work done. You can't live. So mind your business. But if they are the main and predominant figures on the TV show itself, then it may be another route into getting into on This Morning. I don't watch TV either. I just watch funny clips on YouTube or see random news on YouTube. Well, I think it's good that you're suggesting this to me. I think I should be on This Morning. You know, my mum's even said, why aren't you on TV, Sandra? It's kind of crazy, you know. I mean, I have less subs than a lot of the other people that have been on like different things. You know, I have a lot less subscribers, but I have so many people like viewing this channel, and I'm on here like usually every single day. I mean, I know I've been sick because I couldn't help it because my voice was really bad, but and I was quite poorly. I had to do a lot of sleeping, at one point I just couldn't even breathe. You know, I couldn't even sleep for a whole night because I couldn't breathe properly. Nose was streaming, everything was just horrible. So obviously I'm not in a fit state to come on here when I'm like that. But you know, I do agree I should be on this morning. Maybe I should be hassling the producers more. Because you know, I deserve to be on there. Because I know a lot about asexual. I mean, I'm on this channel, like I said, daily. I mean, a lot of the others, I don't see any other asexual channel doing a daily live stream. I just don't see that. You know, I do put a lot of work and time into asexual stuff. I do, you know, like 7 to 14 hours a week. Usually, I'm on here streaming for you guys, helping you out, answering any questions you've got. So I should be on there, really. Yeah, you should call them to go on and talk about your asexuality. You're right. Yeah. You'll have to just become a more multifaceted channel and do some other random videos and more mainstream things in order to get more views and hence more subscribers. Well, I have become a more multifaceted channel. Like, if you've noticed, my YouTube channel's changed into a chat show now, where I talk about dating, relationships, spirituality, self-love, a lot of those different types of things. Do you know what I mean? So I have become a more multifaceted thing because I've done that before. Have you seen my new header? Have you seen my new asexualized header as well on my page? You can just do a random video every month on something really mainstream, like, oh, I tried on the cheapest wigs of Amazon. They got loads of views. Like, oh, I tried on the cheapest wigs off Amazon. They go, I know, but the trouble is, I like being honest. Too honest for my own good. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to make up rubbish that I would never actually talk about, because do you know what I mean? I you know. Yeah, but if you have a look at other YouTube channels and like people I've subscribed to, they have loads of different themes that they do. Yeah, I mean, isn't like 6 things I cover now on my channel. Dating, relationships, spirituality, dating, relationships, asexuality, dating, relationships. I do a lot of, which are very popular topics. Dating, relationships, very popular topics. Dating, relationships, spirituality, asexuality, self-love. It's still being honest, trying on cheap wigs. Yeah, but I would never do that. I don't wear wigs. You can still say the wigs are crap. The wigs are good. Yeah, but then I'd have to buy a wig, wouldn't I, and do a review on wigs. And I wouldn't wear a wig. My friend has hair pieces, actually. My best female friend, she has hair pieces that she puts in her hair. But do you know what I mean? I think I'm too honest for my own good. Do you know what I mean? I'm very, very outspoken as well. What sort of things are you hitting about on spirituality? Law of attraction, manifestation. They're huge topics. Yeah, most of us don't wear wigs. I'm using it as an example. It's for those that do wear wigs. I mean, most of the time I talk about dating relationships on here, because dating relationships is one of the main topics. You know, I talk a lot about dating and relationships on here. Do you know what I mean? A lot about dating relationships. A lot of the other asexuals that live stream, a lot of them are aromantic asexuals. So they like romantic attraction. The ones that I've noticed that have a lot of subscribers, I'm not aromantic. So when they are going on YouTube, just randomly search for wigs, etc., then your video may pop up. Yeah, I know, but it's like, how's that going to be interesting for asexuals? How's that going to add value to their life? How's it going to make them happy? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I just like to, you know, I don't want to put rubbish on my channel and stuff I would never actually speak about. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, but law of attraction isn't really spirituality. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you need a more specific video. No, but if it gives you more subs, I could do lots more with LGBT to give me more subs. But my mission in life is to get asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation in its own right, not to go with everyone else that's doing LGBT stuff, which is what everyone else is doing. No, but if it gives you more subs, like there's other people I follow with loads more subs and they are asexual. Yeah, I know. And they do a lot of different things along with talking about being asexual. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I talk about so many different things on this channel. I think, do you know what I mean? I talk about my own asexual life journey in order to help others in their own. So I talk a lot from life. I do a lot. This is like a personal development channel for asexuals, people who want to develop and grow themselves and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? To better their lives and better themselves. Yeah, but it will never get recognised if you aren't having enough views. I have on average, I have on average between 2,800 and 4,100 views per month. It's not the views. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's the subs. You know, whenever my subs are talking about their other videos, I only select to watch the videos that speak specifically to me. Okay. But I mean, but I see why, say, one of my subs does a music video every now and then. Well, I do film reviews. They are very popular. If you go to my channel and you look up no sex movie reviews, I get the most views on those videos. Like some of them I've got 1,000 views on or more. No views is an issue as well. Subs isn't. No, I don't get no views. All my videos get views. I don't get no views. If you get the views, you get the word out. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I don't know if I can look at my stats. I don't know if I can go into it when I'm on here. But I don't know if I can do that while I'm out on YouTube. I think it's going to freeze. No, I can't do it. Oh my God. I don't think I can do it. See, it's frozen now. I can't do it. Oh my God. I can't do it. It's gone black. Sorry, my screen's gone off now. Sorry, my stream has gone blank. I've gone black. Sorry, my stream has gone black. I can't see myself anymore. I can't see myself. I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? Because my screen is completely black now and I can't see myself at all. So if you can see me, let me know. If you can't, then I have to end the stream. Can you hear me or see me? Because I can't see myself at all. My stream has gone black. Oh, you can see me. Okay. I can't see myself at all. My screen is completely black because I tried to open another window on my Mac and I can't do it. So a while ago, I was on 80,000 views. I know that. Mind Your Business, say majority of subs I watch have around 500,000 views per video that they do. And you can hear, and their videos are a lot more targeted at specific things. So just a video on no sex movie review isn't really going to get a lot of views. Not as much as one that says the Avengers review. I've done, yeah, but I don't just say no sex movie review. They've all got titles. So I did a review of the Avengers movie. I did the Avengers no sex movie review. So I don't just say no sex movie review. I say the name of the movie and then say no sex review after it. So I've done loads of videos. My most popular video is one of my most popular YouTube video reviews is Step Up movie, sexy no sex movie. That's one of my most popular videos. So I don't just say no sex movie. I say the name of the title of the movie as well. You see what I'm saying? We can see and hear you as all is well. Yeah, I can't see me at all. I'm completely black screen. Yeah, that's so good if you do that. Yeah, I do it because I love movies. And they're my most popular videos. One of my videos got 1,000 views in 7 days that I did. But my example is, don't just put it as something like no sex review or something that won't get a lot of views. No, it gets a lot of reviews by saying no sex movie, because people search for sex movie actually, and that's how they see it. That's how it's getting more views. But I don't really want to say that on, which I've just said on YouTube. That's why I specifically put that, because people look for sex movies and they look at the sex films. By actually putting those words in the title, I get more views because of it. But I've just told everyone now what to do, so everyone else can just copy me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't really, I've just said now. So actually, that's why they get more views than anything else, because a lot of that, my most top search for word on this channel is sex. Actually, if you really want to know, with my stats, people search for sex on my channel because they think asexual means sex, and I do actually a lot of videos talking about sex. Yeah, that too. Obviously, you could do 1 million views as clickbait, like a lot of other people do. Well, yeah, that's why I put no sex. That's why I say no sex movie, no sex film, because I specifically like no sex, but it attracts all the sex people. Everyone knows about that. Well, not specific keywords, they don't necessarily, because no sex movie review and no sex film, one of them gets far more views than the other one. So, do you know what I mean? Loads of people can put in Cardi B falls over and they click on a video and it's got sweet feck all to do with Cardi B. But I don't want to, I don't want to do stuff for the sake of it like that. Like, if I know it is no sex movie review, but the people then see sex movie in there, so it works out that it's for asexuals and sexuals look at it as well. Do you see what I mean? I've got best of both worlds. Clickbait, everyone knows about. Well, yeah, but that's what you're trying to tell me to do by the wig thing, aren't you? You're trying to tell me do the wig thing because that's clickbait, because everyone's watching that type of video. Do you see what I mean? Anyone that's regularly using YouTube knows about clickbait. Yeah, but at the same time, you've just admitted that you do that. Ha ha. Yeah, I use some titles, obviously, that people are going to click on. But I do it because it's true. Like, it's no sex movie reviews, but I put words in the title that are suitable for sexuals as well as asexuals, so I do get more views. Because of course I want more views, but I don't want to do a video for the sake of it. And it's not helpful to asexuals because it's just some random video that I completely have nothing to do with. So therefore you were still, yeah, if you did the wig thing, then at least you may get more different people interested. But then they'll be clicking on me to subscribe for wigs, and then they'll subscribe off me when they know it's got nothing to do with wigs. Because I've done some different videos sometimes on my other channel. I have another channel, and when I've done certain videos, they click on it to subscribe for that, and then they're like, I don't know what I'm getting with the channel. They click off and unsubscribe again. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm talking about marketing. That's fair enough. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. So, people, you have to have catchy titles for people to look at, but obviously, it depends what market you're going for. A lot of people, like you say, do LGBT stuff. I don't do LGBT stuff much on here. Yeah, subscribe to loads of people that do a specific video and then after they do videos on other shit, I'm still subscribed. Well, that's good for you. But it's like I'm effing talking to myself all the time. And here go all the asexuals with their bullshit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't, I do videos that have catchy titles because that's part of what you're meant to do on YouTube. But at the same time, I just don't do things purely for the sake of doing it with no reason whatsoever behind it. It's just, I do agree with you that, you can do certain things to get a lot more views. But I mean, like I said, on my other channel that, that I've done, because on my other channel I do different stuff. But actually the original stuff I did work better than some of the other stuff. So yeah. But some people do unsubscribe when they find out it's not the same thing. Yeah, what I'm saying, Sandra, is if you don't want to accept some advice, don't have any Oh, right. You're deciding to swear at me now, then, are you? I'm not going to have swearing on my channel at me. There's no need to. I accepted what you said. Do you know what I mean? Just people can give me advice. I'm happy to hear it, but I don't have to accept. I don't have to do what someone tells me to do, right? Because you haven't even got a YouTube channel, as far as I know. Do you know what I mean? If you got a YouTube channel yourself, fair enough. But I don't think you have, and I'm quite happy to hear what you have to say. But I don't have to do something for just the sake of it, you know? If I don't want to. So, and I don't appreciate you swearing at me. Don't appreciate anyone swearing at me. There's no need for it. You know, I give it, you know, I say to some people advice, but not everyone takes my advice. And I don't go around swearing at them and being horrible in them. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice. So, you know, I think it's the end of the conversation now. You know, I was being helpful to you and trying to help you out in the beginning of this video, which I've done before, you know? So I'm not going to be sworn at by you or anyone. There's no need for it. You've told me your point of view. I've listened to it. And that's the end of it, you know? I've had to delete your messages, you know, and I don't want to be sworn at like that. I deserve better. I don't deserve to have someone come on my channel and speak to me like that. You know, I've heard what you have to say. You don't need to reiterate the point. You know, Andy, that was uncalled for from from Mind Your Business. Yeah, it was. There's no need to speak to me like that. You know, I've got, you know, standards, morals, and beliefs and things that I don't just do something for the pure sake of it. Full stop. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite prepared and happy to listen to people, but just to manipulate someone into your mind of thinking because you're swearing at them if they're not accepting your point of view is not good. Do you know what I mean? It's not good at all. It's basically trying to push someone or manipulate someone into your way of thinking. And if you don't agree with it, they'll swear at you and put you down. I don't deserve that, and no one deserves that. It's not a self-love thing, you know? So, you know, that's the end of it. You know, that's the end of it. If you want to go to ones that got 500,000 subs, go to ones that got 500,000 subs. That's fine, you know? I got you know, I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna carry on. And do you know what I mean? And if you're that good at marketing a YouTube channel, go off and do it, make loads of money, and then you don't need to do the prostitution, do you, really? If you know what you're doing. So, but if you want to do that as well, you know? So there you go. So, yeah, anyway, you know, I don't accept people speaking to me like that. It's not nice, and it's just rude, and it's totally uncalled for. I'm not gonna be like made to do anything by someone swearing at me. It's ridiculous. It's very abusive, actually. You know, swearing at someone if you don't get your own way and don't, you know, like I'm happy to listen to people's advice, but I don't have to go along with it every 5 minutes of the day, or I don't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? So, you do cover a wide range of subjects and change lives on this channel. Thank you, Andy. I do cover a wide range of subjects. Do you know what I mean? I really do. You know, I've done that for I've changed this into a chat show where I do cover a lot of range of topics. And if people listen to the actual channel, they'd learn a lot from it. You know, a lot of what I tell people on this channel is stuff I've learned over a process of 8 years. So rather than doing some random wig video that might get loads of views, it's not really going to change people's lives, is it? Do you know what I mean? I'm about changing people's lives for the better and really making a difference to people, which I know I get private messaged about people telling me this, you know? And it's better to have a following of subscribers that are loyal and that really want to improve their life and change it than have thousands and thousands of subscribers that really don't care. I mean, to just randomly liking some cat video or something. Not I'm saying cat videos are bad. If I had a cat, you know, I've had guinea pigs in the past and done guinea pig videos. They're some of my most watched videos on my other channel, actually, but I don't have guinea pigs here anymore. So, but yeah, thank you, Andy. Yeah, I do cover a range of subjects, and like I say, I do change lives, and that's what's most important to me, is changing someone's life, which may be putting people's own lives before my own in one sense. But you know, I have got some integrity. Do you know what I mean? I do like to produce quality videos as much as possible. You know, and I do know that, you know, there are other videos I could do on this channel, but anyway, you know, I'm back. I've been off for 2 weeks. My stats are still pretty well. My stats are very good. YouTube's like, you know, you're looking good. I'm like, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad I'm looking good. But yeah, so when I was talking about self-love and detoxifying from dating relationships, I specifically was targeting that more towards obviously being in a relationship. But obviously, if you have someone who comes on and whatever in your life starts swearing at you and being horrible to you because you're not going to do what they tell you to do, then obviously detoxify from those type of people, cut off from them, sever contact with them, because they're no good personally for you. Do you know what I mean? If you love yourself, you won't, you know, you don't want people speaking to you like that. It's all about self-respect and self-love, you know. Obviously that person doesn't love themselves, they hate themselves, which is why they're showing hatred towards me, with swearing at me because I'm not doing what they tell me to do. So, you know, I mean, you know, I give loads of advice out to people. Not every person takes my advice. That's up to them. We have free will in this world, and it's important that we let people make their own choices and decisions as to what to do. It's good to make suggestions. It's good to give feedback and advice, but at the end of the day, it's their own person's life, and only they can make the decision and choice about what's right for them in their life. But it's important, you know, that you do detoxify from toxic relationships or toxic friendships or toxic anything. You know, if people are not supporting you in your role, if people are not you know, being friendly, kind and caring, not showing love, gratitude, kindness towards you, but they're putting you down or swearing at you or being rude to you, you know, then you have to let those people go, you know, live their own life. And hope that they turn their own life around and love themselves eventually, you know. And it's a shame that they have to pass the hatred for themselves in swearing at me. You know, it's a shame they have to do that, but if that's what they feel they need to do to give themselves power in the world, because maybe they feel a bit powerless or helpless themselves in the sense they don't love themselves, then, you know, obviously that's what happens sometimes. So I wish them lots of love and luck, and I hope that, you know, they get some peace and happiness within themselves, and they do really, really love themselves in the future and like themselves. I mean, you know, I don't appreciate being spoken to like that, and I won't put up with it because I'm not here in the world to be spoken to like that, and to have people in my life speaking to me like that, I don't need it. You know what I mean? I really don't need it. I don't mind people giving constructive criticism in a nice, friendly, suggestive manner, not in a you do what I tell you to do, because you don't, I'm going to start swearing at you and telling you F this and F that. That's not how to behave. It's not appropriate. So I wish that person a lot of love, and wish them happiness on their own asexual sexual journey, and hope they find some inner peace, and hope they get a good relationship with themselves, and maybe they'll find some inner peace where they don't have to swear at people to get what they want, or to get the result that they think that person should have. You know, I do think it's sad when people have to do stuff like that, but just give you a lot of love and wish you good luck on your life journey, you know. But I'm not gonna be in contact with you anymore. I'm not gonna be friends with you anymore, because that's not a friend that speaks to me like that. A friend would suggest things calmly, you know, and compassionately, not like that. So thank you, Andy, so much for saying I changed lives. Yeah, so it's important, you know, to detoxify yourself from dating and relationships, and obviously any person that becomes toxic for you, even if you consider them a friend before and you liked them before and thought they were a lovely person, which I did, you know, like that person before, you know. So you know, sometimes it happens for one reason or the other, and sometimes you just have to part ways because it's healthier for them, because obviously I'm frustrating them because they feel that I'm not listening to them, because they just repeat themselves over and over again telling me to do stuff. You know what I mean? Back to topic. Were you going to say any more about the detox from dating and being independent and self-reliant? Yeah, Andy, it's very important that you do detox from dating and relationships, because when you get into the frame of mind of, you know, the frame of mind of like, you know, like you need a relationship, you know, you can't live without one, you feel there's something missing in your life, you then end up zapping your own self-love. And instead of like focusing on yourself and your own self-worth and being reliant on yourself, you become then reliant on other people. So what I'd realized about myself is that I become very like, I like, actually, Andy, you reminded me that I'm a very independent girl, and lately I've been kind of feeling, because I've been thinking about more being in a relationship, I'm finding that my attention and even my reliance was becoming more about outside people than more myself. And so by cutting off from dating relationships, not focusing on that anymore, it's allowed me to focus a lot more on my own self-worth. It's like allowed me to focus more on self-loving again, on thinking about all the benefits of being single, which is basically I've got to pour some more water, which is basically, you know, being independent again, taking my life back into my own hands again. Because that's what you're doing when you're detoxifying, right? Any type of, you know, when you're detoxifying from something, you're basically, it's a bit like going cold turkey to begin with. So you're kind of like when you first do it, it's kind of hard to do it, you know, cut off from that type of thing, you know. But you have to be very, very strong and disciplined, and kind of like not let yourself go online, or not let yourself go on certain sites, not let yourself go in certain groups, refrain from doing anything. You have to put the focus back on you. So sometimes that means cutting off from social media, cutting off from television or whatever. I don't watch TV anyway. Cutting off from certain things in order to put the focus back on you. And you need to like cut off everything so that you spend some time with yourself with a pen and paper like I did, and start writing down. So a good idea is to do journaling or writing down in a diary about things, so that you self-reflect about your life. Because when you've been focused on dating relationships for a long time, you're kind of putting your power and your energy into someone and something else, and that can take away from your own self-reliance and self-love a bit, and your self-power. So when you put the focus back on yourself, and you focus on self-dating again, you focus on your own life plans and goals, all the time that you're spending on dating relationships, looking for a person, in groups, actively pursuing, all the time you're spending doing that, you then have all that free time to spend on your hobbies, your interests, actively pursuing your career, making plans. And what I did, I spent was it 2.5 days literally writing down like 7 different areas of my life that I wanted to get sorted out, which included relationships, which was like a dating relationship scenario, like love, what I'm going to do. And obviously I think I've got some of it here. I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to show it to you, but I'm sorry, I'm going on camera a minute, but I'm not going to show it for you, but because it's a bit private. But I just want to basically, yeah, I wrote. I'm not going to show it you all, but I wrote all these 3 things out, right? And it was, I can say what type of headings they were. So basically, what was it? I did loads of pages. I did loads of writing. So in terms of like where I'm living now, right? So I was like thinking about living in different places. So I wrote down the pros and cons to where I live now in comparison to where these couple of other places that I could live, right? The pros and cons. It's very good in order to like settle your mind, in order to look at things from a practical point of view, in order to in order to get your mind sort of sorted and cut through all the bull, as it were, and really get to the heart of what you want, you have to sit down with yourself, pen and paper, and force yourself to reflect on your life. Like, spend time with yourself, quality time, which means cutting off from everything, just having silence. It's a very difficult thing to do in our world that we live in, because with our social media world that we live in, right, it's all like flick through other people's streams, for other people's news feeds, for other people's lives. It's all a sense of like flick, and you kind of take in all different people's lives. and you forget to live your own. So obviously when you're like not actively pursuing dating relationships anymore, all that time you can use to put on yourself, but don't just use it to spend time with yourself willy-nilly. Spend it being proactive and actually actively planning what you want to do for like the next year of your life and maybe future years, but at least this coming year, right? So I've been able to sit down with myself and plan out like my year now, like what goals I've got for each area of my life that's really important. And one is living, like where is it best, like, you know, it's not just about now, it's about in the future, but it's about assessing where you are now and where you want to go for the foreseeable future. And I realized by doing this that my best place for living is actually where I live now. But I did it practically. I did the pros and the cons of each 3 different places I was thinking about living, here and 2 other places, right? And I did the pros and cons of each one, and it came back to the fact that where I live now is the happiest I've ever been. It's the best place for me right now at the moment. It's got everything on here, and so I really now know that I'm very, very settled here again in my mind, because when you're not sure where you want to live different places, it unsettles you. So therefore you're kind of flaying around everywhere. You've got no sense of like what you're doing, and you know, you just like kind of like swimming around in the ocean like a fish out of a pond, and you don't know where you're going, and there's big sharks everywhere, you know. So you need to sit down with yourself, force yourself to sit down and write a plan of action for yourself, right? Write down what you want to do in each area of your life, right? Write down in you know, like what you want to do. Like, so I'm settled now in here. I like it. So, you know, I've written my conclusion, everything, so that's really good. And then I did what did I do? I put oh yeah, so it's right, so one of the things I did is actually put what to do about dating and relationships. And I came up with fact. I am not financially in a good position to have a healthy relationship, and I need to sort my finances out first. So that was quite a big, you know, like, it's something I've been talking about on this channel for a while, but it's good to put it down on plain, you know, plain paper, pen to paper, because once you've got something actually down on paper, it sets it in your mind, you know, and it helps you to have clarity of purpose, clarity of where you're going in your life, clarity of what you want to do. And I put, I want to stop caring about being in a relationship and continue to detoxify myself from all dating and relationship pursuing addiction, because that's what it becomes. It becomes an addiction, and you can become addicted to actually, you know, like wanting something you haven't yet got, and therefore you're taking away your essence of what you've got now in this moment and not focusing on the present because you're too busy focused over there, right? So although, like, in terms of law of attraction, you have to be thinking in terms of the end in mind. If it's painful experience for you doing that, which it was for me, it's best not to pursue that right now, because it's not the area of life you want to go. If it's a pain area, you associate relationship with pain, it's like kind of self-destructive to then go for a relationship, right? Actively pursue one. It's better to think, right now, I'm not in the frame of mind for a relationship. It's not good for me to be in a relationship. It's not healthy for me. Therefore, it's not going to be healthy for another human being. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. Right? However much you may want it, however much you may like it, however much you may think about it, in some ways, you have to stop yourself, right? So, you know, I mean, obviously, this is kind of the opposite of some of the stuff I'm teaching, because I'm talking about like not actively pursuing a relationship instead of pursuing one for a change. That doesn't mean to say you don't want one. That doesn't mean to say you can't have one in the future. It just means to say you're turning a new leaf over. You're going a different direction. You're following a different life path, right? Because it's not the right time for you to be in a relationship. Sometimes the best thing for you to do in terms of dating relationship is to say, I'm not going to pursue one anymore. It's not the right time for me. If I was to get into a relationship with a guy right now, it's not a good time, you know? In some ways, I have thought, should I completely change all my profiles? But I think it's better to leave my profiles as it is, because I think it's going to be a long time before someone comes along anyway, and the right person will see my profile and they will contact me. So I'm not actively pursuing, but I'm not completely cutting everything off, because sometimes when you cut everything off, it can make you crave it more. It's like your favorite cakes. If you stop yourself having your favorite cakes completely, sometimes it can make you crave them more. So in that specific instance, like, sometimes it's good to completely cut off from everything, right? But if it's the terms of addiction, some people can, like, you know, some people can have to stop their addiction completely and completely get rid of everything, and other people can like wean themselves off the addiction so they're not any longer an addict, right? So you can like see which one works best for you. But I think for me personally, obviously I do asexual work anyway, but I think for me, like, there might be one guy that turns up and sees, oh, that's the profile of a person that's my ideal person, do you know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it on there. And then right, so it's not good for me or healthy as not working out for me, and it's bad and painful. That's what I concluded from pursuing a relationship at the moment. So that's why I'm stopping doing that. So I want to go out dancing for me to improve my body tone, my confidence, my self-esteem, dancing techniques, to be happy in and of myself without needing a guy. So obviously I'm going dancing, but when I go there, I do think about guys. So I'm having to remind myself of why dancing is good for me in its own right, and I don't actually need a guy, right? I want to be really, truly happy being single again and have a single mindset and just love and take care of me and not rely on anyone else for that but myself, basically. So that's what I concluded. That's why it's really good. I would say to everyone to do a self-assessment where you are now in dating relationships. Are you feeling good? Or is pursuing dating relationships lowering your self-esteem, lowering your confidence, making you feel bad about yourself, or making you feel bad about your life or your situation? If it's got to that stage, I would say defocus from relationships and dating. Put the focus back on your own relationship with yourself, on building your self-esteem back up again, building your self-confidence back up again, building your own life back up again, making yourself feel great about yourself again. Just make sure that it's absolutely like good for you, that everything you're doing in your own life is wonderful for you, and that everything's like centered around you again. Like now, when I start focusing on myself, I kind of feel relieved that I'm not in a relationship. I feel really happy to be single. I feel like I'm looking after me, I'm managing my life, I'm managing me, I'm feeling like I'm empowered, I'm stronger, because I'm really taking back control of my life. And that's what it is. When you get into dating, relationships, addiction, you kind of like your power goes more with that instead of focusing on you. So it's better to detoxify from that and then put the focus back on you. So you're back in control of yourself, back in control of your life. You can manage your time more effectively. Like all that time I was like on Mingle, all that time I was searching on ASAP and other things. And I was like doing several times a day, like throughout the whole day. All the time I was doing that, I could have been spent doing other things, right? And the more I actually be a single person, the more I rely on myself, the more I succeed as on my own, the more I can become better at what I do. The more I can become a better person for me, the more I can self-love, the more I can feel good again. I feel like I'm managing myself better. I feel like I'm like succeeding in the self-development area, that I'm really like I feel a relief. It's a bit like you leave a relationship that's no good for you and you feel a relief, and I feel that way where I've detoxified. I feel like it's like a relief. It's like I no longer have to pursue that. I know I have to put all these hours into it. I no longer have to do all this like searching. I can just relax. I can just focus on business stuff. I can just focus on other business things. I can just focus on doing what feels good to me, and that just is very, very empowering. It kind of detoxifies yourself and it makes you feel really strong and hopeful for the future, and it just makes you feel a lot more in control. So I put what makes you feel less like being in a relationship, because obviously you have to do the opposite and think the opposite to be happy being single. Because if you're still thinking you're better off in a relationship, or you really crave that, then it's not going to work out, this happy being single business. You're going to keep changing your mind. So if I say what makes you feel less like being in a relationship, so like that means I'm going to think more about being single. So I came up with self-dating makes you feel less like being in a relationship, because when I self-date, I feel completely empowered. I feel at one with my soul. I feel so very happy. I'm really, really content, and I just like feel good that it's just me and me. I'm looking after me, I'm loving me, I'm being in the moment with me. I've got no one else to worry about, can come and go as I please, just live for me. It's really good. Writing is very therapeutic. This really helped me when I was feeling ill, just writing about my plans for the next few months and year, my plans for like my new businesses, my plans for like, you know, like my new single life again, like it's a like renewal of my own single life. And so I just feel like really good writing. Writing makes me feel great anyway. It's very therapeutic for my soul. It's my life purpose. And so when I write, I just feel good. It just automatically makes me feel good. So the more I write, the better I feel. See my best friends. Hey, Andy, Sam. So yeah, seeing my best friends really, really helps me to not want to be in a relationship because I have the love of friendship. So I don't need to be in a relationship because I've already got love. Do you know what I mean? So more love I have from friends. Obviously, I've got a person who's not asexual. That's my best female friend. So that the more I actually love, smiling, the more I have love from friends, the less it makes me need a relationship because I've already got love from other people. I don't need it. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be a relationship to get love from other people because I've already got it. Compassion, love, caringness, people who message me, you know, Andy and Sam, they message me to find out how I'm doing, how I am. They care about me a lot. I feel like they want me in their life. I feel like they're happy to know that I'm okay and still alive and what's happening. You know what I mean? I feel like I've got some people who really care about me and who want me in their life and who I'm a part of their life, even though I'm not with them all the time. I'm always a part of their life. I love that. I think it's such a beautiful feeling. I never thought I'd really get that with friendship, but I've, you know, been surprised. You know, I've had to learn to friendship love without it being romantic love. That's quite hard for a hyper romantic that doesn't experience platonic attraction, to be honest. But you know, it's been very empowering and it's been amazing. I mean, my best female friend who's not asexual, she's the one who I first felt friendship love for, which especially for a woman is kind of weird for me. But yeah, you know, she's done a lot for me as well. You know, she goes out of her way to see me. I can't praise her highly enough for that, you know. So I just feel it's really nice when you've got friendship love. It just feels like there's no attachment there, you know. There's no attachment in the sense of they're not loving me because they feel a duty of romantic care towards me. They're loving me because they love my personality. They love my essence of being. They love being around me, you know. And so therefore, and the feeling's mutual, obviously. And so therefore, it just feels so empowering. The more I focus on that type of love and feeling, the less I need a relationship because I would usually want those type of things from a romantic relationship. I'm not saying if I was in a romantic relationship I wouldn't still want those things, but when you've got it elsewhere, you don't become so needy of a relationship for those things. Does that make sense? So spending quality time with myself, this is so important, right? You know, to just detoxify from social media specifically, from unhealthy relationships, from detoxifying from the dating and relationship, just spending quality time with myself, like thinking, what do I want to do with my life? Like, how is every area of my life going? What do I need to improve on? What do I want to do going forward? And write a plan. You know, writing a plan is very good for if you've got anxiety, because if you feel like your life's out of control, you don't know which way to turn. With no plan, you'll just, you know, you just feel like you're in an ocean. Like I said, the fish swimming in the big sea. You just feel like that. You feel so out of place. You don't know what the heck you're doing. You know, and it just is no good for you. You kind of feel like completely lost, like a sheep. Do you know what I mean? Like a sheep that's got out of its pen and you just roaming around the countryside and you've got no shepherd and you've got no way of getting back home. You don't know what the heck you're doing. And I was like, foraging around for scraps of food or something. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of thing. So by actually spending quality time with yourself, cutting off from everything, you can center yourself more. You can feel good about yourself. You can detoxify from the outside world because some of it is beautiful. The outside world, some of it's amazing. There's some fantastic people, and then other things you get the haters. You get people who are being rude and people who are not nice, and you know, the more successful you get, obviously, the more you'll get that anyway. And so you kind of like sometimes you just need to think, right, okay, appreciate you sharing, but you know, you've just got to like get back to being healthy for you and get back to just like loving yourself in this moment. We forget a lot of the time when we're online that we have our own offline world. offline life, and sometimes it's good just to unplug from the online world and be in the offline world, because when you're in the offline world and you basically center yourself and you're more in the offline world, you find you can cope better in the real world than if you're totally plugged into social media and social online, because it kind of takes you a bit away from the reality of your own actual personal situation, and you kind of feel like your life and your power is more than other people. But when you come back to the the reality and the life offline, you feel more empowered to live in the now, and that your life is actually really good. Because like if I switch everything off now, I just sit on my bed, lie down, got a beautiful home, beautiful things around me, like everything's good overall. Do you know what I mean? And you just like you just get time to relax and de-stress and unwind. Do you know what I mean? And so I'd really recommend doing that. I'd recommend spending time by yourself, like switching off from all social media, everything, just sitting, relaxing, chilling, just reflect on life, just writing, journaling, whatever you want to do. It's really healthy for you. And happy being single affirmations, which is what I showed you at the beginning of this video, wasn't it? It's actually on the screenshot. This really, really helps me and makes me feel less like being in a relationship. So when I say I love being single, happy being single, this so helps me. It really, really helps me to get it rewired and reprogrammed into my brain to be happy being single. So I cannot stress enough, if you want to start detoxifying from dating relationships, force yourself not to go in dating groups, to go on dating sites, and actually start putting all these affirmations all over the place. I love being single, happy being single, very happy being single, feel great being single, wonderful being single, list all the benefits of being single, do a flow chart if you want, do one of those spider graphs where you put in the middle, happy being single, all the reasons and benefits of you being single, like happy being single because I don't have anyone else to answer to, happy being single because I can do what I want when I want, happy being single because I can live my own life on my own terms, happy being single because I can live my dreams, happy being single because I don't have to deal with all the relationship drama, happy being single because literally I don't have to answer to anyone. I can come in at 3 a.m. in the morning and not have to worry about waking a person up, and happy being single because if I lived with someone, they'd be using the shower when I need to sleep and I'd get woken up. Happy being single because if a person stays over my flat, they might leave their dirty underwear everywhere. I'm okay, I have to take care of my own underwear, let alone anyone else's. Happy being single because I don't have to buy. I do like giving gifts though, but I don't have as many presents to buy for, all these type of things that you can list as reasons. So you can do this, but you can literally sit with a piece of paper saying happy being single because, and then just list out all these different reasons why you're happy being single, because the more you can see you're happy being single, the more you'll be empowered to do so, the less you will need to be in a relationship, because you'll start automatically thinking, okay, if I'm in a relationship, I'm tied down to times more, I have to worry about what the other person's needs are, I have to worry about coming in at a reasonable hour to them if I live with them, I have to worry about me using the shower when they're trying to sleep in the morning, different working patterns, I have to worry about what's going on their day, I have to maybe go on social media to connect with them when really I want to stay off it, so you see what I mean, you see all the arguments that are reason why it's better to be single and not in a relationship. So, and that's very empowering. So this is how you can rewire your brain, be happy being single. The danger I've personally thought and my worry is that I'll be so happy being single that I actually will not need a relationship ever again. And then I'll feel like I'm missing out on romantic love because I'm a romantic asexual. I know it might seem crazy to all the aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction. But do you know what I mean? I just think it's really, really important at the moment for me to do this and to be happy being single for years of my life to come. Do you know what I mean? It's much more, makes me much more happier. It's gonna really hopefully help my health more and really give me a chance to focus on other areas of my life that maybe I've been neglecting or not paying as much attention to as I should be. So I'd really encourage you to do this, do the affirmations, do the chart, of why you're happy to be single, what's the benefits of being single and not in a relationship, and do actually start, planning out what you're going to do with your own life this year, because that takes back your personal power. It puts you back in control and charge of your life. and you know, it just feels great, and it's really good going forward. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you have any comments, questions, queries, or want to say anything that's helped you to be happy being single, please leave it down in the comments below, because obviously I'm going to end the stream in a minute. So, like, comment down below, you know, what's helped you to be happy being single, what, you know, what's helped you to be happy to not be in a relationship, what you've found great. I mean, obviously there's a lot of aromantic asexuals or aromantic asexuals that a lot of them don't want to be in relationships. What helps you to not want to be in a relationship? Obviously your sexual orientation helps. About your aromantic asexual, you don't really need a relationship. But if there's anything else that you want to add, please feel free to put it in the comments. I want to thank everyone for participating in chat. Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for being amazing support tonight throughout this whole show. I really appreciate you. Love you as my friend. Thank you, Heather. I love you a lot too. So much. And also Theola, thank you so much too. Thanks to everyone that's taken part tonight's show. Lots of love to you, and it's good to have you back. Thank you, Andy, so much. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone here. Thanks for being part of this community. I love you dearly. It's good to be back. Hopefully you find my videos useful, helpful, insightful. If you do, please give them a thumbs up. It really helps to raise awareness of asexuality, and it helps to spread, you know, loads of awareness of asexuality. It helps these videos to get more visibility, which again helps asexuality. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below right here, right now. And please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live. Right now, I'll post a new video. It's been absolutely fabulous to be back. I love you. I will see you soon on the next video live stream. And take care. Have a great evening, day, time, morning, wherever you are. And don't forget to always love yourself is a very, very most important thing, because the relationship with yourself should be the very most top priority for you. Because if you don't love yourself, it's harder to love other people and harder to have a healthy relationship with other people anyway. So self-love all the way. Lots of love to you. Take care. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.